Hello everyone and welcome to our second Nitro video. In this video, I will be going over the functionalities of Nitro PDF and how we can use Nitro PDF to do basically everything that we need to do for the Houston Law Review. Now, before I do that, I am going to, so at this stage, basically what we've done so far is we have activated your Nitro account and then downloaded the software to your computer. But the next thing that we need to do for a MacBook is we need to make sure that the default viewer for a PDF is Nitro and not something else. So to do that, you can click on any PDF anywhere on your computer. You right click on it and then you click Get Info. You scroll down to the bottom where it says Open With. And so right now it would open with Preview, which is not what we want it to open with. We want it to open up with Nitro. So I'm going to click Nitro PDF Pro and I will say Change All. So that way every single time you open up a PDF, it will open up in Nitro and you don't have to go through this again. Okay, so now when I open this, it should open up in Nitro. Great. Okay, so what I just opened up is the quote-unquote MSF file, and it's essentially just a scanned copy of a book. And so what's great about Nitro PDF on Mac is that it immediately realizes that it's a scan, and it asks if we want to OCR it. And the reason we do want to OCR the scan is because if you don't, you can't really highlight, underline, or search through a scanned PDF because it's scanned and it can't recognize the text. So we're going to OCR. We're going to OCR it in English, but if this is a foreign language document, you're going to want to select that language, but this is an English document. So I'm going to click OCR document. And this may take a little bit, so I will skip through to the end. OCR is now complete, and that means we can do what we want to. The first thing that I want to do with Nitro is, again, something you're not going to have to do every single time you open up Nitro. You're just going to need to do this once, and then we're good to go. So I want to add something to our toolbar up here. So I right-clicked on the toolbar. I clicked Customize Toolbar. And now, if you want to add other things to the toolbar, you can. You basically select any of the things that are right here and drag them into the toolbar, and you can drag them wherever you want them to go. The thing that you guys are going to need is where is it? Editing bar. So you're going to drag this and place it right there. Okay, so what the editing bar is, it was already showing up because I've been using Nitro on this computer for a bit. But essentially it opens and closes this thing here, which is, if you're typing text, you can change things about the text. You can change the coloring of your lines and the thickness of your lines and all those things. So you kind of want this accessible for things that you're going to do later. Okay, so now I am going to treat this MSF like we would in any packet and start creating the packet. To do that, I am going to open up the MSF file. So let me the cover page. So here we have the footnote, which is the citation, and then the above the line text. So we're going to go through and just start highlighting and underlining and doing all those things. So to highlight on Nitro, you need to come up here and select this guy right here. You can also, as you'll learn later, this is also where you go to do an underline and all that stuff. So sometimes it'll be an underline up here and not a highlight, even though it says highlight down here. It's annoying. But anyways, if that happens, you just select the drop down. And then if you select the color, it'll be a highlight. Okay, so we're going to highlight. We're going to highlight the title and the edition. Don't need all of that. So this is a good practice note. So in order to delete something, you have to be able to click in on it to delete it. And so I did that by coming over here, selecting the cursor, and then clicking in on the highlighting. And so now I can hit delete with my keyboard and it gets rid of it. So I'm going to go back to my highlighting tool and highlight here, this author, the year, And then we're going to want to highlight the editorial board. And then, let's see. So now we need to go find what is being talked about in the above line text. Here it looks like it's some kind of, essentially just an entire quote from page 258. So we're going to scroll down to page 258 in the source file. Looks like it's right here. We're going to highlight the page number. And then we are going to need to highlight the text. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So because this is a quote, we're going to need to underline the actual part that's being quoted. To get to the underline functionality, you go up here to your toolbar, you click the down arrow, and you select underline. And then I am going to underline what is being quoted. So the commerce barrier to state action arises in two situations. In the first, Congress is silent, and then in the second, Congress has exercised the commerce power. Great. Okay, so we've underlined it. You see how it's green and we can't really see it? We want to change the color, and we also kind of want to change the thickness of the line. And in order to do that, I'm going to go up here and select the, the pointer. And then I'm going to select the underlining, and then I can change the color to, we want red. And then I can change the thickness to, let's see, maybe this thickness so we can see it a little bit better. Maybe that one. Okay, and actually I'm going to re-highlight things because you'll see that once you change it once, or whatever the last one was that you did, so here it was this red line, all of your other lines, actually I need to change it like this. Okay, so now all of the other underlining that I do from here on out, as long as I don't change the color again, should be in red. So let me underline this part, and then this part. Okay, great. And so now I'm pretty sure, but sometimes it's a little finicky. If we save this document X out, we open up a totally different document. The settings that we did for the underlining here should stay the same. And so when you do an underlining on the next document, it should also be read at about the same thickness. So as long as you're not changing your colors around, you should really only have to do that once or twice, depending on how you do it. So that's how we do the underlining. Now we want to go back and highlight. So like I said, the highlighting option is no longer here. This is the underlining option. So you have to hit the drop down button, and then you just pick a color up here. So I'm going to pick this color. And I'm going to highlight this whole passage because this is what is being talked about. And now all that's left is to actually do the substantiation. So in order to do the substantiation, we have to put in a text box. And to do that, I'm going to go over here to Form, select the drop down arrow, and then I'm going to, annotate. Go to Annotate, drop down arrow, Comment. Then you can create a comment box like this. So this one's defaulted red because I had used red in the last form that I used, but if you wanted to change the coloring of this box again, you're going to go up here again to the pointer, select the box, and then you can change the color of the box over here. So blue, we like it to be red in the Houston Law Review, so we're going to make it red. And then again, now every other time I do a box, see, should be red. Yeah, okay. And again, I'm going to delete that. Okay, now we're going to come in here and substantiate. So we're going to say footnote 01. Perfect. That is a very easy substantiation. You will get very few of those. So we have finished the majority of what we need to do. So all that's really left to do is delete some of these excess pages. And to do that, we're going to use this little area over here. So if you scroll out, you can kind of see them a little bit better. But we only need one page after the substantiated area, or this area that we're citing to. So we can delete these last two pages. So I'm just going to select it, and then I'm going to hit delete on my keyboard. I'm going to select this one, hit delete on my keyboard. Great. And then if you want to move pages around, so here, say we wanted to move this page, move this page over here, you would just do that. If you want to switch pages around, that's kind of, select, and then, oh my goodness. Let me see if I can do this a little better in full screen. There we go. Okay. So we are good to go there. Now, the final thing that we need to do is add the cover page. So this is the cover page over here with all the information. I already filled it all out. Once you've done everything that we did over here and you've filled everything out over here that you need to fill out, now we're going to add this to the PDF file. So the way I like to do it, and there's many ways to do it, is I'll show you right now. So I'm going to make it saved, and then I'm going to exit out, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on the file, and it's on my desktop, but it could be in, any of your file areas on your computer. I'm going to right click, and then I'm going to go to open with, and then open with Nitro PDF Pro. So doing that immediately converts it to a PDF, which is great, does it pretty quickly. And then now, the super easy way to add it is I'm just going to select it and then drag it over here. So there it is, it's right here. So I'm going to bring it, I want it to be at the top. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to exit out of the old cover page. And so now we've got our totally completed packet right here. It's got the cover page, everything's highlighted, substantiated, and then you're just gonna make sure it's saved. I think it automatically saves. And then exit out, and then you can upload it to SharePoint whenever you're done. And that's basically it. If you guys have any more questions, please do not hesitate to reach out.